Hello. So, what day is it right now? It's Wednesday, August 12th, and I'm just supposed to be getting ready for bed. Um, I came home after work, I ate dinner, talked to my parents, and I knocked out. I think I was waiting for the bathroom. I think I just knocked out because I wanted to take a bath, just go to bed. But that means a day well spent, but also it probably is because I decided to do double shots of espresso in the morning. So 2 pods, double shot espresso. I also had a little bit of donuts at work. I think I tried like 3 flavors, so a quarter of each piece, or a quarter of each donut. And then I also was really busy. I had a lot going on. Oh my gosh, it's a thunderstorm out there. There's lightning. I guess you know what they say, you sleep well when it rains. Yes, but I probably won't turn my AC on. Oh, it's gonna be hot. Anyways, so yeah, I am just about to go to bed. I knocked out for I think an hour and a half, and then I woke up. I did my thing, loaded the dishwasher, got ready for bed, brushed my teeth, whatever. And I wanted to make this video earlier because today was a very interesting day, but I did not have the opportunity to because I fell asleep. But yeah, today I attended some events at work and I got some really good advice that I think I need to hear for myself and remember, and I think it's good to share with the rest of the world. So had a little panel discussion with some professionals, and it's about dealing with uncertainty, making the most out of your opportunities at work as a young professional, especially given the time that we're in. It feels like there's no answers. There's no answers of where you're going to end up. You don't really know how you're going to get to the goal that you want to achieve. The world is constantly changing. There's a lot of things going on, especially current affairs, politics, technology, AI. It's becoming a bigger thing. More people are getting used to it. There's a lot of new developments, whatnot. So, the world is ever changing, and with that comes a little bit of cutbacks, especially for young professionals. Job market isn't great, especially after graduating. You're lucky if you have a job, and I'm very grateful that I do. And I know a lot of my friends who just graduated or are trying to find jobs during school. Yes, it's been quite the struggle, even right now, nepotism isn't even working, and you'd assume it would, but it's a tough job market out there. Okay, wait, give me a second. I need a water break. Maybe it's from all the donuts and all the sugar. I just feel so parched. Anyways, so we had this discussion, and I feel like I got a lot of good advice for my career. And you'll never end up knowing how things are going to turn out. I'm very much a planner. Since I was a kid, I was like, A, B, C. I want to achieve this and that and that. I never thought I would be going to university where I'm going right now. I never thought I would be working at the place that I'm working now, or I never really thought I would have the life that I have right now. I always thought I was going to go to the US. I have multiple posters of where I wanted to go and whatnot, but I'm not there. And obviously it's not by coincidence, or it's not because I didn't work hard enough or whatever. It's just that maybe I wasn't meant to go. And honestly, I am much more grateful for what I have now, because this is like, it's such a blessing. All the opportunities I get and the life that I live, the life that I've been able to create for myself over time. It's something that, you know, a part of it is not in my control at all. And I'm definitely grateful. I'm really happy that this is the way it turned out. And, you know, those people that we did talk to today, they wouldn't have ever imagined to go in the career trajectory that they are at. You know, these are like high level managerial positions, whatnot. And, you know, who would have thought they would have made it? Like just yesterday, they didn't know where they were going to go. You know, you don't have to have the same background as what you're doing either. I believe one of them like has a very interesting academic path. It's not very linear. So you never know where life is going to take you, and it's okay to feel that way. The uncertainty, it's normal, especially in your 20s, and I know that. I definitely know that. Like, I never know what's going to happen next. I can't, like, ever determine, especially because I live so far away from home, and I don't know what's going to happen, you know. I think I learned my lesson there, and I think I need to accept it more and think through things more and remember that. So that's one thing. Another thing is confidence. I asked, oh my God, it took the living life out of me to ask this question. I was like so scared. I felt like my heart was just like beating so fast, because like, you know, it's not every day you get to talk to people at this level of an organization, and heart was beating really fast, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna push myself outside of my comfort zone to ask a question, because I think it's great to, you know, do that, and you get a much more personalized experience by doing that instead of just sitting and listening to what they're saying. I feel like I had more to take away. So I asked, you know, how do you improve your confidence, especially as a young professional? And how can you, you know, be the change that you're seeking? Especially when younger people, they don't really have the expertise to, you know, or like that track record, that resume to be credible. And I think the first thing is, like, obviously to have courage. It's not easy, but when you put yourself out there, I mean, that's like the entire point of this channel, and like that's my thing. Do hard things, you know, keep telling yourself that you can do it, and you keep setting the bar higher, higher, and higher. The second thing is to remember that this is something I said before on this channel, and this is something that I think you should remember. Everything that comes your way when you're chosen for a job or a position at a club, or, you know, you're at a school and you sometimes feel undeserving, or you feel like you're not meant to be there because, like, you know, you're not really like comfortable with what you're doing, you feel shy, you might feel timid and whatnot. Don't think that, because you are exactly where you're meant to be. You got chosen out of a pool of people, you know, out of hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people, to be somebody at that place, to have this position. And that's because they saw something in you. And this is something I told myself, I believe, a few months ago. I think I told myself this in January, and I told myself this in November too. But that's something that I often have to remind myself, because, you know, the workforce is constantly changing. Change management is very important, especially in the current world that we're living now, because every day, you know, you see the current events, everything's changing, right? You have to adapt quickly. And I mean, I'd like to think that's my strength, but sometimes it can also be my weakness. It's like a double-edged sword, because adding on new things, it can be overwhelming depending on the capacity that you have. But when you do, you're actually increasing your capacity. Like, it's the same thing with confidence, right? The more you do, the more you prove to yourself. And I think that these things will give you such a great experience, and it will make you stronger as an individual. And I really liked what he said about that. I think in terms of being the change that you want to see, it's important to advocate for your ideas and to find ways to include that. As someone who is new to a job, you have an advantage in bringing new ideas because you're not used to the process. In fact, you kind of come in with this outside perspective and you're learning something new. You'll be able to point out things that might not seem to, meet your guidelines or really follow the process that, is listed, because everyone else kind of just knows mind-wise. Like, I had a situation this week regarding some like formatting, and the guide said one number and the person training me said another number, and it's kind of frustrating because you don't know that, because it's like kind of like a mental thing. Everyone around you knows this, but you don't know this. And then if it's not reflected properly, then it can be a little frustrating, right? Because you want to do your job well, you want to make sure that you're understanding the whole picture, but then that requires a little bit of updates. It requires people to keep, things more, like regularly updated to inform others on your team, whatnot. I'm starting to lose my words. Hold on, I need water again. This is a longer video than I thought, but yeah, so what did I do in this situation? I think I made a list of the things that I noticed that are different from what I was being trained on, and I just flagged it. And then the person who's responsible for updating that process, they can take a look and let us know if those changes need to be implemented or not. But a lot of information is not like readily available, because when you work with experts on the matter, they know their stuff to a T, they know it, but in here, they're not really checking that process guide that is made for a trainee, right? Because there's not a lot of new people coming in anyways. So when things like that happen, I think it's okay to use your voice and express your concerns, express your opinions. And it actually makes you much stronger when you do that. It helps you build your confidence, and you are, some of these ideas, they might end up going to change an entire process for the better of service. I'm pretty sure when I was at my last placement, my last job, I made a list of things that could improve workflow. And I'm always about that. I really like efficiency, and I try to be as efficient as I can, because I believe that, you can get the job done well, but it should be results-based management. I'm like remembering stuff from my classes. RBM, I love that. Results-based management, if I were to be in a managerial position, I would measure it based on the results, not how many hours did you work. Are you always at the office? No. I'm more of a, hey, did you do your job? Did you do it well? And is this yielding, great outcomes? So that's kind of my thought process. And I'm easing into a leadership role for this upcoming school year in a club where I'm co-pres. And I think these things that I'm learning at work are actually going to help me be a better leader in this club. I'm kind of out of the game when it comes to leadership, I feel like, and public speaking. I used to do a lot of it back in high school because I was constantly exposed to it. I was a part of a lot of clubs. I was in exec positions. I'm a very busy person back then. Oh my gosh. But now, like, I kind of brought it in closer to bring my focus into like a certain aspect of my career, but I'm trying to expand, especially on the side of work, because I want to make it as a young professional in this field. So I think these things take time. I think it's totally okay to feel unsure about where you're going, what you're doing, because the nice thing about the present is you get to write this future that you're planning. And that's something that they said in this panel. They said, don't focus too much on like where you're gonna end up, because you never know. Life can take you on a marvelous journey if you let it. And that's exactly what happened to them. When they went on to do certain roles in their job, when they switched positions and stuff, every time they'd start, they felt scared. And I think that's normal, especially like the level of things that they're doing. Like, it's normal. In my profession, you have to make a lot of sacrifices, and in order to be an excellent worker or an excellent employee, you will have to just take that leap of faith and trust yourself and trust that you are exactly where you're meant to be, and you got to carry out your duties, because it's not just affecting you, but it's gonna affect everyone that's impacted. Could be like your whole department, could be your whole country, whatever, and that's so fascinating, because I feel like these are things that people don't really talk about, especially at that level. Most people, they just keep to themselves. But when you take a chance and go to opportunities like this, you get a different perspective. And having this more often, I think, would help and just expand your mind, expand your thinking, and it'll open up a lot of doors. And I think another thing he said about making change was be thorough. That's something I could work on. Admitting your mistakes is number one. You should do that. Oh my god, it's like starting to get hot in here. I wish I could turn my AC on, but I'm not trying to like get electrocuted mid-sleep and die. When like water is crisp? Yes, ice water, so good. Anyways, by the way, I don't go here. I just had a phase in my life where I really liked this school, but I don't go there. Anyways, so he did say, yes, making mistakes and accepting them, humility, it's important, but it's also just, I don't know where I was like going before. I totally forgot. But anyways, you get the gist of it. This was a great opportunity, and I want to make the most of my time in this job, because this is really like it's the first job in my field that I've gotten, and it's at a place that I never thought I would ever work. Like, I did not think I'd get to work here this early on in my career, but I know that they chose me because I have it in me. And some days it feels very difficult and discouraging when I'm not able to meet the standard that I hold for myself, But at the same time, I have to remember I am learning, and everyone around me are amazing, talented, exceptional individuals who have been doing this for years. You know, Rome was not built in a day. And that means you cannot become a master of your job and your work and your responsibilities overnight. And that goes to say the same thing for my career. There's going to be all these changes. I'm not even going to expect it. And maybe right now I have this one goal that I want to achieve, but maybe that's not what I'm going to do. And maybe because I'm not like rigid about it, I might actually have a much more pleasant experience in my life. And, you know, these are just some pockets of wisdom that I've learned throughout my journey. And I think this is a conversation, this panel that I attend today is something I'm going to like remember for the rest of my life and refer to, because truly, like, it just kind of felt like there was no one else in the room. It's just like me and the speakers, and I was just like so touched by this. You know, it's not every day you get to feel that way, especially when like you're involved in planning and stuff. But I took a lot away from that, and you know, I want to prove myself. I really think this is the beginning of a new journey in my life. Like I said, I didn't plan to dye my hair blonde, but here we are. And I'm excited to see what comes next. And anyways, I should have started with this. I don't think anyone's gonna watch a 22-minute video. I don't really care, but I did what I said I would do, and I did finish doing my LSAT prep before I went to work today. I didn't have time at work because I was busy, but that's how it's supposed to be anyways. If I have downtime sometimes during my breaks or whatever, I'll work on it. But before work, I got my 1 hour done. It was rough. I think I got into the hard part of the prep, but you know, that's good. And obviously I should be in bed right now because it's like 10:52, but because I took a nap, I'm a little late. It's fine. I'm still gonna wake up at the same time that I said I was going to, which is 5:30. Grind my LSAT, maybe hit the gym, then I have work, and then I think I'll be busy in the evening. We'll see. So yeah. Anyways, I am going to bed. I am exhausted. I feel so sore because I hit the gym yesterday and I am feeling it. So, good night. Thanks for listening to my life. There's not much going on. That's crazy. But if anyone actually does watch this to the end, or if anyone does watch at all, I really don't know. I hope that whatever I learned today can be of great service to you, because I believe knowledge sharing and bringing up one another is important for the future of our generation and society. Okay, peace. Bye.